What's up, guys? So in today's video, I'm going over exactly how I did over $75,000 in sales in just 8 influencer shoutouts. And just before the video starts, I just want to let you guys know that I have a Facebook Messenger bot that if you guys click the link below, I will give you my exact influencer script that I use for generating these kind of results. So if you guys want that, link will be in description. Okay, I'm done being a sellout now. Let's dive into the video. So I'm going to go over now how I did over 75,000 in just 8 influencer shoutouts. So now I'm going to be going in depth on how I found the influencer. So honestly, it was just from me, from Hayden and Tanner, letting me be in some of their videos. Some people came to me from those videos, and they were good with influencers as well. And honestly, it was just a value exchange. Like I provided them a lot of value since, I have a lot of experience in e-commerce, and in return, they just gave me influencers that worked. And, one of my friends, who I'm not going to say his name, but he's in like the whole European market as well. And he gave me an influencer who he did over $5,000 in one shout out within a day. And that's how I found her. So it was honestly through recommendation. I actually found the girl before. The weird thing though is in the Europe, at least in Europe, like influencers will get um, sometimes low feed post engagement, but they get a lot of story views. Like this girl, if you look at her feed, she gets like 10K likes, 20K likes a post, but she gets over 250,000 story views. And I looked at her before and I didn't actually buy her because I didn't think that it would work crazy enough. It's just crazy to see, how much I've done sales with her and how I didn't want to run with her in the beginning. So that's how I found the influencer for you guys who wanted to know. Now let's move on to how I actually chose the product. Now this is the product that it's been scaled multiple times with meme pages. And, I saw some personal brands who were running it, but it was never really heavily scaled. But I knew from seeing a store, seeing a store's numbers that was running this product on very big YouTube influencers. I just knew that it had potential, and I knew the influencer worked. So, I took a leap of faith and did it. So that's just how I chose the product overall. If I was going to, if you're a beginner in it or someone who's trying to look for a product that could do these kind of numbers, it's really just trying to find saturated products that have been proven to work. Because at the end of the day, it's a product is only saturated in the traffic source that is saturated in. So if you're running Facebook ads and if you're trying to do, say, I don't know, like the epilator or something like the eyebrow epilator, it might not work really ever, just because it's been scaled so many times. But on a personal brand influencer, someone who hasn't promoted, someone that has a community that loves them and that, respects their recommendations, something like that could work, just basic products like that that solve problems that the influencer can tie in with a problem that they say, they've had or, whatever, and them recommending the product, which is how, this all worked. Now we're going to go into how much I spent. So I spent, like it says here, 1,250 USD. And at the end of the promotion, I got 245,000 story views at the end of the promotion for how many people actually saw it. And I had the option in the beginning to only pay $600 for the ad, but it would only consist of like 2 or 3 story slides. And I knew I wanted the ad to be really good because I knew if I put max effort into it, I could possibly get a really good result because I already know she converts, right? So that's, how much I spent. The reason why I spent more than spending less or going over quality, so that's my whole mindset on, why I spent more and, the results that came from that. Now, I'm going to be going through how I actually scale this. Basically for the script, and like I said before, how she positions the offer is simply, just her connecting a problem that the product solves, and then basically her just saying that, she had the problem and that how she used my brand's product to solve that problem. And now she's genuinely recommending it to her audience. And from that, people, respected it. And it was a product that, is in pretty high demand right now. And it just ended up working like that. And so it's just all about finding products that solve problems and her connecting, saying that she had that problem, that she used your brand's product to solve that problem. And now she's genuinely recommending it because she doesn't want her community having the same problem that she had. And it just popped. We can go over to the sales. I did over $4,956 the first shout out, which was pretty crazy. With 8,700 visitors, 1.76% conversion rate. And going back to it, in the beginning, I was only doing one ad, so only strictly one ad which I will all make sense in a little bit. But I was only running one ad, which you can see, the sales would, drop down right after it's done. And I'm going to show you how to actually increase that and keep traffic coming in the store and keep sales coming in after the ad should be done. What changed, like I said here, what changed it for me, from going from like a 5K to like almost like over 7K, 8K in the LTV, of the shout out with the same influencer. There's a couple of things that came into that actually made it possible. So I ran enough ads to basically populate the retargeting audience enough, with enough traffic in it, and it when the retargeting got up to a certain point where it had, a lot of data backing it, and a lot of people who visited the site, going back to it and all that, it just created me to be able to make more money during the shout out and after the shout out, because people saw the retargeting after it was down and decided to buy from people who maybe, not bought before because they were thinking about it or whatever, it might be. The second thing was, I implemented reconvert and backend upsells, and I added more in-store upsells. Reconvert, accounted for like 10 to 15% of the new revenue that was coming in. Like I would get an email saying that I made one sale, and then I would get a cha-ching for two sales, which was pretty cool. Which, meant people, when they landed on the thank you page, they were actually purchasing it. I actually have a video on my channel going through how to set up reconvert and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. And through the in-store upsells alone, brought in over 3.5K in sales. Just from me making a quick product page and just adding it. Which was really good because, obviously it just brought more revenue, more profit, in my pocket. Now number three, this is the biggest thing that I did to increase the LTV and be able to go from, doing like 5K on the same influencer to doing like over 7, 8K and the LTV of the shout out. And that was pretty much by me paying for the specific influencer. I paid 330 USD, which was like 250 British pound, for a remarketing slide. It was 2 slides of her basically just reminding her audience to purchase if they haven't bought yet. And what this did, it kept traffic coming in the store and people buying, and it kept the sales up, when at the point where it should have been down. Now I'm actually going to show you the results from this. So this is, from here, and then we go to, so you guys can see, as I'm doing this, I was only doing like 5.1K, per shout out, etc. Now, if we go to the day where I did the remarketing, actually I'll show you guys before I did, as I built up the audience. You guys can actually see it actually did a little bit worse like during this time, which is for whatever reason, like it always fluctuates. So it only did like 3.9K. But then we go to the time where I did the remarketing, through the 19th and through the 21st. You can see I did 6,000 in the LTV. And this is from, starting out the remarketing. You can see, sales kept coming in, throughout the whole time. Okay, and now I'm going to go to when I kind of stopped for a little bit to let the audience repopulate. And then you guys can see now when I really started pushing and the retargeting was set up and everything was going well. And you guys can see on the same influencer during the time of the shout out. And this is the whole time of the shout out because this is how long the ad was actually up on her page. You can see it went from doing like, on the 5th through the 6th, only like 4.9. And then through here to here on the 11th to the 13th, it did 7.5K on the same influencer, and that was from doing the remarketing. So from that extra $330, I did over 2,000 in extra revenue just from people coming back in the store and the Facebook retargeting staying up. And I can just continue on through, me continue to scaling it, etc. And you can see it kind of had the same result, like 7.4K. But as you guys can see, say leading up before the next shout out, it did like 9.8 in the LTV, right? So started doing like 700, 500, 685. And this is from building up the audience first and while remaining profitable and then running retargeting. And then through the whole LTV of the promo, it's still bringing in sales as no ads are going up. And then we can actually look at, right here as well. You can see in the first span it was like 7.6K, but up until like I ran the next promotion, It did 10.6K in the LTV, and this is really interesting because I posted at a later time, which is why it only did 2.7K. You guys can see right here, I posted at a late time, so you can see when she posted, and then we just move on to the whole LTV of the promotion. People stayed coming in, right? So you guys can see like 2.7, 3, 3.7, and then for some reason it only did like 1K the next day, but every single day, almost every day after that was like 1K. So it was like 843, 1100. And this is just from me consistently building up the audience, getting them warmed up to the offer, and then the retargeting was just popping. We were only spending like $100 a day max, with the retargeting during this time. You guys can see, I'll go to whenever I stopped running on this specific influencer was when it started becoming less and less profitable. But as you guys can see, your ran ad and but the retargeting even after it went down was like doing like consistent like 2K days like every single day just from people seeing the website, coming back, etc. So well, what's my whole point with all this? I'm just trying to give you guys value and making sure that you guys can see like my journey and what I did with it and how I scaled it. And I'm just going to go through like my biggest tip, for people who are just trying influencer marketing or who are already doing it and want to get better at it, be more profitable, make more money. The number one thing I would recommend, unless there's like a trend going on where meme pages could be effective, I would just recommend doing personal brand influencers. Really just because, they have more consistent authority. It's not really that even I put down here consistently push traffic to your site, like any page could consistently push traffic to your site, but people who are going to convert because they trust that person's opinion. And you're reaching, you want to go to a market where there's a big problem with a lot of people having that problem where that's where you can make consistent sales, right? So that's my first recommendation. Focus on personal brand influencers and people who can send traffic, but people who will actually convert because they trust their recommendations. And the second thing is, I would recommend have outside cash flow outside of influencer marketing and just not relying on influencer marketing alone. Just because there are ups and downs. A big problem that I've ran into is just price consistency. So even though this girl, she charged like 1250 for 245K story views, a lot of the other similar girls, could be charging, in the same category like 4 or 5 grand, which just wouldn't, number make sense just because it just won't be profitable just, from the way that this converts. And that's just my my mindset on have outside cash flow. For me, like I have my agency. I also work with clients, etc. So that's just my thing, and I just wanted to recommend that to you guys. And the third thing is, keeping the product research method simple. I already knew the offer works, so I didn't really need to specifically do this. But if you're going in trying to replicate what I've done, really trying to find, lower ticket offer, something you could sell, say for like $40 and below, is at least what I'm doing, and basically just trying to find the dropshipping products that have been proven to work in the past and maybe been saturated and won't work on Facebook, but they could work on personal brand influencers because there hasn't been a lot of saturation to it yet. There's so many products that haven't been tested that could be scaled. Simply, through tapping in with these personal brand influencers. Some ways you can find these products, you can even go on YouTube. I found like some of my like winning products, like 10K a day products, on like Orberlo's videos of like, products that you should sell now, of the other drop shipping gurus posting, make $10,000 from selling, these products or whatever it might be. Because there could be potential in it, even though most people's mindset might be, oh, a lot of those products have been tested already, etc. They haven't been tested yet on specific traffic sources like personal brand influencers, like Snapchat influencers, etc., where there's like almost no saturation. So that's my recommendation, just keeping it simple, and just trying to find stuff that has been proven to work and trying to, go in the my whole method is like finding stuff that works and sticking to that, trying to find what is exactly working, then tapping into it. There is no fast way, but that is like the fastest way to generating these kind of results is, finding stuff that's been proven to work and then just tapping into that and then knowing how to scale it consistently, like from what I've showed you. And at the end of the day, it takes time to, for this to work out, this isn't my main focus since, like I said, I have the agency, but I started this back in like July of like 2018. I didn't have my first success with like influencers until like September of 2018, and moving forward from there, where I started doing YouTube influencers on like YouTube like repost pages and all that, which was really good. And then I took the same methodology of just going ham with it, allowing something to be saturated and letting the audience be saturated by only you, and really just trying to maximize out the opportunity, because it's going to get saturated either way, so you might as well do it in a faster manner and be able just to try to make what your goals are come true. Just make sure you have outside cash flow. Make sure that talk to someone like me, who I'm already doing it. I offer coaching to people who are actually serious about wanting to, do influencer marketing and want to be successful with it, or already have winning products and want to try to scale them with influencers. So it's just about sticking with what works. Like, why would you go out and, try it out on your own when you can work with me and I can show you exactly influencers that have worked for me, the exact scripts that work for me when it comes to reaching out, all those things that come into play to make it more of a faster method to get to where you want to be. Nothing's a guarantee in life, obviously, but it's just about taking things that have worked and then implementing it for you. And at that point, it should work for you as well, as long as you keep on putting in the work. So it takes time, but I hope you guys found value in this video. If you guys want to get the influencer script, the link will be in the description. My Instagram will be in the description as well if you guys have questions to DM me. And yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys found value in it. Peace.